Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to get the Economic Development Committee meeting started. Courtesy of the floor. Seeing no one, we have a presentation by the Nazareth Economic Development Commission.
Okay.
Are they here? Okay.
Texting them?
Can we
Why don't we do the other one first?
Okay. Okay. All right. Do we have the SIP grant folks? Okay. Great.
We have the folk.
That would be me,
Okay.
The folk.
and I'll do this first. And Liz is on her way,
Okay. Great.
so yes.
Everybody should have a copy of the
And you can read
material?
it, right?
What is it that we're
Nice
looking
big
at?
fonts.
Nice job.
So
Yeah.
these are our 2018 SIP recommendations. Council President Kraft and Lori Vargo Hefner were kind enough to take their time and sit in and review each individual application with us. So these are the recommendations. If you want to take a look through them, let me know if you have any questions. But I think we fairly distributed the money that we had available around the county for some really good, important projects.
This is 820 May I ask a question?
Yeah. Sure. Absolutely, Mr. Werner.
Thank you. 829,202 is the amount that we're looking at.
Correct.
Okay. And you're not requesting.
Yes.
Is there more in it or you don't know about it?
No, we had 850, so we came in right under the wire.
Okay.
Yeah.
Thank you.
You're welcome. No.
Hey.
They did a great job.
So right now we're looking at the information from the SIP recommendations on the Excel sheet provided. You got one?
Yeah.
This is- Questions?
Yeah. If I may, the Center for Animal Health and Welfare, I certainly support their operation, but what exactly is Operation Clean Air?
It is for a machine that's going to reduce the spread of any airborne germs and illnesses within the facility to try to keep the animals healthy.
Okay, so to get rid of the cat smell.
Yes.
I get it.
I'm sure it'll do that as well.
Just say it. You don't actually talk.
Not like an air purification.
Okay.
Get rid of the cat.
I think there's other things in shelters that they have to worry about, kennel cough and all that stuff.
Yes.
Right. Oh, yeah.
I do have one other question, if I may, Mr. Chairman.
Oh, absolutely.
Okay. I don't remember, it was the CDBG group, I think, that was asking for $100,000 for Bethlehem. Are you with me?
The previous presentation that they did, yes.
Is it on
This
here?
is not part of that
This is
budget.
not part of it,
No.
okay.
No. As a matter of fact, I know maybe some of you had initial contact. I know Mr. McGee had met with the representatives from the city, and they will be reaching
come
out
here.
to council persons individually and then inviting you for a more educational individual conversation.
Okay.
Is there a possibility of maybe not even for this year, but finding out like who of these got grants previously, so that that we're not the same people aren't getting them over and over again as well.
Sure.
With it.
Was
Yeah,
that
I mean,
was that reviewed when they did
Yes,
the review?
we did have the past 3 years of history when we took these numbers into consideration. Sure.
Has
Yeah,
the
we
criteria?
can email that.
Has the criteria stayed the same for the evaluations, the 7 different categories?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, we didn't change anything.
I think it was 750, yeah.
Yeah, the very last.
I commend the people that were on the committee this year for what they did. I was there before and did not have that privilege this year. However, I have a few questions I'll be asking about it anyway.
May I ask a couple more?
Please.
The Nazareth COG Animal Control Officer implementation, so that's basically a dog catcher. What, are we paying a portion of the salary, or am I?
Yes, and it's a new trial position that they're starting, and it involves 5 or 6 municipalities that are doing it as a test project. They're starting with only dogs, and if this proves successful, then future model will include cats as well.
I guess then,
Some
My-
municipalities, cats are the bigger issue.
my concern
Yeah,
is
true.
that what winds up happening is that typically these have been one time for a capital investment, or maybe this is for a startup. Is this for a startup, or is it
Yes.
their anticipation to be coming back on a yearly basis asking for the county to fund the position?
I don't know the answer to that. They
Yeah.
may very well come back and ask for more, but this is an initial new
Right.
position and new project.
And just to follow up, the similar situation with the downtown manager for Nazareth Economic, I guess they'll be here shortly. Again, if it's a.
She's here.
Oh, she is here. But I
Yes.
guess my question will be, it's one thing to put seed money to get something started, but, my concern is that what winds up happening is that we have municipalities or nonprofits that become dependent upon this for a salaried position rather than for an initial investment, which my understanding is that these programs are for an initial investment rather than an ongoing salary or paid position.
Right, no, correct. We typically, and we had that conversation in this review committee meeting, we typically don't like to fund salaries. But as Liz will explain to you, this commission is slightly different, and we also had a change in staff, so we had a new, Liz is a newer downtown manager, so there was a lot of change within the organization, and, basically until, she gets herself established where we can kickstart some fundraising, this position would not be possible without the county contribution.
Is that number 35 you were referring to?
27.
27 and
27.
35.
No,
35 is the manager.
I'm looking at the numbers on the left.
35 is.
35 is the one you were talking about.
35 is the manager,
Okay, thank
27
you.
is
Yeah,
the dog
no, I knew
catcher.
about the dog, right,
But you
okay.
initially
I
asked
just-
for
ahead.
55,000.
All right. Just so we're on the right page here.
Should I just say?
Just-
Because Bill can't see me?
Yeah,
Mr. McGee, may I speak?
Yes.
I just want to
sure.
speak to the process a little bit, because having never done it before, I think we took a lot of fidelity in the idea of looking at what was new, what was given before,
Where?
that this might be a one-time thing, one and done. So I think all those debates were had because no one's looking to keep something going as a salary, and also we tried to look at where there'd be impact in more than one place. Like, for example, if 5 boroughs were sharing something, then we looked at that as opposed to a one-time,
Right.
one incident situation.
You done? No, I only asked you because Mr. Werner put his hand up.
For
You can
now.
continue on then. Go ahead. You're next.
Absolutely.
You're up.
Cede my time to I would like to follow up on this salary thing, because I know that the percentages are low sometimes that you use for the total package. I will have questions about when there's more than 50 or 60% of the funding that's used maybe for a salary, and I would be a little bit concerned with. And I don't think that's a trend. I think we looked into that years ago, and it's not a bad thing, because I think if it's a new program,
Right.
you need the people to get it started. But
yeah.
I think for some of the programs, there will be some questions raised about what a percentage is being used for that salary versus what's being placed into the program.
Right. No,
Okay.
great. No, if you have any questions, please reach out to myself. Sarah's been instrumental in keeping this all together, so. Yeah.
The Plainfield Township, they put in for a fire department emergency generator and they didn't get anything. Is there any reason they didn't get a little piece, or?
He asked for 100.
Let me find it.
It's number 38. It's just a few down from the downtown manager. Don't they get their money through the planning commission for stuff like?
Not,
They're doing
not,
something,
not
okay.
for something like this,
Okay.
no. But they were funded, because they submitted 2 different applications.
Oh, okay.
So we voted to partially fund one and not the other.
Okay, thank you.
And they've received previous county support for other projects as well.
Okay.
Are those similar things that they're requesting? What's Act 537?
No, that's for their comprehensive plan for water sewer lines.
Oh, that's very
Yeah.
important. And there's another one, Lower Nazareth Recreation and Parks Plan Update that got nothing. Why?
Because we gave it through CDBG money.
Yeah.
And I learned that by
Yes,
sitting
we
on
did
the,
CDBG
being on the
ones.
hotel tax and, okay.
Yep.
They're all separate.
It looks like you kind of spread it out, and most of the people got something, but there was just a
Habitat, I
few that
tried.
didn't.
Final question, if I may, Mr. Chairman, and I won't ask any more. At least
that?
not in this committee meeting. In years past, what was done was after you reviewed it, if you found that you wanted to go back and help other people, is that in place yet, or has that gone away? Is this the final program?
This is our final.
This is the final decision here?
Recommendation, yes. And
So
we-
there's no going back and
we
helping the
don't-
people that got zero?
We don't have any more money.
Okay.
We,
Well, unless we pull it from one.
Well, I'm wondering, because sometimes, didn't we have some programs
Yeah.
that they didn't use the money from last year?
not really.
Oh, really?
Everything's been reprogrammed.
Okay.
There may be an opportunity where somebody doesn't
I think you
use
have.
what they requested, correct?
Possibly.
Okay.
I mean,
Not likely.
once they get it, but then it would come back.
Okay.
I agree.
You had a question?
Yeah, why did Habitat for Humanity not get funded?
Habitat received approximately $48,000 in the past for the same home, and it's not even been completed yet. So they got funding they're asking for more money for the same project that's not yet been completed.
Why hasn't it been completed? What's the deal? They're waiting for Jimmy Carter to come in now? Finish the job?
I don't know. Have you gotten any updates?
That was for their construction and their salary. That was another, it was twofold. It was because they have received previous funding from affordable housing and SIP, and then they came back asking for, on the same project, for salary.
For more money.
No, can't blame them for
That's
trying.
another salary position
So it's a salary position.
for this request, but they've gotten money for the actual housing project
Okay.
in the previous ask.
Well, that's good that you put it all together then, so you could take a nice, clear look at what's going
Yeah.
on. Mr. Heckman?
Hi, I just wanted to ask, Portland Borough Authority, the State Street water line replacement. Oh, I'm sorry, 40. Was that covered under CDBG as well? Or
Yeah.
is that just something that
Yes,
we're not?
they did already get funding for this project.
Oh, okay, thank you.
They did.
Can I ask one more question
Sure.
about the process? I mean, some of these asks are extraordinarily high compared to the amount that they were given. What is the process by which it's evaluated to determine the percentage that they get as an actual amount that's recommended as opposed to the amount that they requested?
We have a whole scoring process based on their application that we go through and rank. Everything comes out with a number.
And
So then we have open discussion about what have they received in the past, how much of an impact is the project going to have? So all of the
because one of
history.
these is like Christmas lights. Do you know what I mean? What kind of impact does that have? I love lights. They're nice. What does that mean?
I'm looking at Mr. Kraft. The Bethlehem lights.
Since, if I may,
Yes.
Mr. Chairman, since this is your first round with
It
these.
is, that's why I'm
We
asking.
we do the same thing every year.
Okay.
There's, how many volumes were there this year? 8? That high? How big were they?
Yeah.
They sent
Yeah,
out for applications
right
for
here.
this to everybody.
Mm-hmm.
They get them back. These poor people have to go through thousands and thousands of pages of paper and score everything, and they decide where they're going to put everything. Then they have 2 people from county council Bob was on it last year. I think Scott Parsons was the first one to be on it. He wanted to kill us because it was so big. It was by himself. And they tell us what they want to do, and we go through all the things and see whether it's agreeable or not. We go through why somebody got 0, and they've been funded before. There's a lot of reasons behind, but this cleared it up because the other alternative was to have every one of these things come through and have us do it the way people wanted to do it.
What do you mean, just grant it the way it's
Have us
requested?
do every individual thing and spend the next month and a half going through these applications.
I
That's
get
what
it.
they're
So you
hired
doled
for.
So you doled it out to.
So they,
Yeah.
no, we don't dole it out, that's their job, that's what they
Oh.
do, they look at
No,
it.
but I mean to the two council members.
Right, the
who
two
have to,
council
like, sit-
members
yeah.
go over it, and then we bring it to you as a recommendation, because this is the best that we think it should be. And I think he spent just about every cent of money this year.
We did.
We did.
Yeah,
Some years we had left over that we decided to give to somebody else, but this year they seem to be right on mark. Now, if the people don't use their money, it comes back. If somebody's crazy ask like $570,000 for Sullivan Trail streetscapes, I mean, come on,
Well, yeah,
I
no,
mean,
I see, there's.
But you're going to ask for the sky. If I'm writing a grant, I'm going to ask for everything, see what I can get. That's what you do. So, I mean, just because the number is super high and what we gave them is super low, they have funding from other places, and their applications also have matching funds and
Yeah.
funds from the state and funds from
The cities.
township, and funds from the borough, and it's
Yeah.
not, you're only seeing our part of it. And our part should be the smallest part.
If I may, Tara, the criteria they use, these guys, and believe me, it is tedious, okay? I think there's 7 categories, if I remember
Yes.
correctly. And it's about presentation. This is a very competitive thing.
I bet.
These guys are like, fighting for the money. So they have to make a good presentation. They have to have their confirmations of people. They have to have people backing them on what they're asking for. So it is a good process. I believe in it. It took a while. It took a couple of years to get it right. But if I remember correctly, we had another year that didn't go as well as it should have. But
Somebody gave me the book. I
somebody
think they
gave you
sent
the
it
book,
to me.
yeah. But
Said, here, you do it.
I think it's a fair process, and I'm looking across the board here, and I think it looks like it was, it's what I can see, it looks very fair.
And spread out.
Yeah,
I mean-
spread out rather well. So,
And it's a lot of repeats. It's a lot of not repeats, but same communities looking for something. I mean, we try to help everyone.
that's our job. That's part of our job too, is to help
And-
across the board.
I didn't
so.
say that I didn't want to help people.
Oh, I
I'm
thought you
just
did.
looking. Did you? Did you now? No, I'm wondering why.
But they've been
Why
vetted.
certain things are funded and not. Like, First United Church of Christ is being funded, and then you have Bath Borough. It seems like kind of all over.
Do you remember the picture of the help me out, was it the Portland swing sets? No.
Oh, yeah.
Was it Penarville?
Rosetto.
Do you remember the picture they showed of the kids' play area that was dilapidated?
Yeah.
And they were asking for money, and like, that's, I mean, that's what they do. They presented it well.
I understand that.
Yeah.
You have a church here asking for money. Isn't that their job to raise money?
But actually, I'm going to interrupt real
That's-
quick. We have a stack of cards over there from last year's backpack program that Wesley Church, right up there. So, I mean, so while the church is getting it, I mean, it went to 1,800 backpacks throughout Northampton
Right,
County
but
of people.
That's for kids. This
But-
is for a capital campaign.
Everybody, we'd be happy to educate you
You can
later
educate
on
me
this
how-
whole thing
No,
and
I
how
would
it
like
works.
to be educated on this.
Yeah, because we can
You don't
do
have to do it
that.
right now
Instead
either.
of killing the committee time, we can do this.
Let's go.
Ask any questions you like, Tara.
It's okay. I just want to be a little bit more educated on the process and know what it is that we're sending up.
If you have questions.
I'll ask you. It's fine.
Certainly, please do.
Not a worry.
You know how to find me.
Mr. Kusick,
Because you gotta ask
Mr. Kusick has a
Mr. Chairman,
Please.
it is an exhaustive process, and I want to thank the committee members who went through this. I would recommend, Ms. Zirinsky, that maybe you might be a member of the committee next year to gain a deeper understanding as to what goes in,
That's how they did it.
as to what goes into the process. There is a maximum amount for a grant award, and one of the things that we've shied away from is funding emergency services.
Correct.
Traditionally. As much as we appreciate what volunteer, ambulance, fire companies do, that's not a core function of the county government and grants. As far as reprogramming money, we have done that before. CDBG, we've done it even with hotel grants, and we can certainly do it here. If a grantee comes to us and says that they're unable to expend all the money
Right,
in a
it goes back
timely
into the
manner.
pot.
My only other question had to do with the VIA events. It just says operations. Does that have to do with the marathon?
It does, yes. They are interested in bringing in a professional from the Boston area who actually helps organize the Boston Marathon to grow this marathon to the next level.
Yeah, it's a qualifier, and it's become very popular because it's a relatively flat course. Now, in the past, we've funded the marathon through the hotel tax grant. So I guess my question is, are we overlapping? Are they getting two grants here? Could you clarify?
They did.
Yes.
I'll get you the amount. I can't remember that amount off the top of my head. But this was specifically for that individual's professional services.
Okay. Again, I strongly support it. It's a terrific tourist draw, but, I always wonder when people are, have their hands in two separate pots at the same time.
Yeah.
If I may, I'd like to add, this is a much better system than we had in the dark ages, where everybody would come to council at the end of the year, and I have one distinguished former councilman would call it Christmas time in Northampton County, and they would you'd get all kinds of stories. The place would be filled up. So it seems like a very efficient way to handle this, and people always have the option coming in if they want at the end of the year, and that's up to them.
Sure.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you.
Is that all you have for that? Okay. Let me ask you one more question, since we have a little bit of time, or are the other folks here?
Liz,
Oh, they are?
whenever
Okay.
you're ready.
Who follows through then with the compliance of the grant? And is that all disbursement, procurement? Is
Yeah,
that
well,
where it goes?
Sarah manages our SIP program in our office.
Okay, because I was going to say, some of the questions that were asked tonight, it was kind of nice to get the backstory on why one wasn't approved, because other money was coming in,
Yep.
so that's great that they
we'll-
keep an eye on the moving targets.
We'll email everybody the history, too, that we took into consideration when we made these recommendations, too.
No other questions for the review of the investment partnership program and the grant recommendations? We'll move to the presentation of the Nazareth Economic Development Commission. Everybody should have the packet in front of them. It's, I guess, going to be on the computers, too. Packet of information.
Nazareth.
Linda, you might have saved it under something.
I do have stuff. Yeah, that's what she's gonna use.
It's not in here.
If those are passed,
I didn't know if you put the PowerPoint up.
no.
Okay. Did you bring it?
No, just one, get stick it in the thing. You don't wanna see my son's wedding photos, right?
No.
That's what else is in this. It's either of them.
And here we were at the altar.
Up there it was, right in the middle.
Find it. There it is. There we go. For those of you who don't know, Liz Wyant is our new Nazareth downtown manager. Formerly, she worked with the city of Easton and GEDP and ran events such as the Bacon Fest. So Nazareth stole her away from Easton. So.
That's on record.
Bacon Fest.
All right. Hello, everyone. Good evening. It's about 20 slides long. You have the printed version in front of you. More recent, I'll give you, get my cards too before I go, in case anybody would like to reach out to me before or after with any questions. So I work for Nazareth Economic Development Commission, otherwise known as NEDC. Started in April. Slide. NEDC is a 501c3 that works under the borough and receives funding from the borough and Martin Guitar. It funds my position as well as some promotions, marketing money. It's not just about my salary. There's other things that we spend a decent amount of money on. Part of my position also, I manage the farmers market, which I managed the Easton Farmers Market before as well. So there's some experience there. I also had a retail and service business prior to that. So my background is pretty varied. So I felt comfortable coming into Nazareth in April of this year and seeing what I can do in Nazareth. Sorry, I'm trying to keep up with that and this at the same time. So things are happening in Nazareth. We're getting some new businesses each year. So of course, as in any community, some close, but we're focusing on the ones that are opening. We work we use the next slide. I'm trying to do this in front of me and beside me. NEDC uses the Main Street 4-point approach, and the presentation went down, so we're going to work with paper. Main Street is founded on the 4-point approach. Organization, which is things like relationships, volunteers, and fundraising. Design, which is things like planters and benches and painting meter poles and things that the physical aspects of a downtown. Promotion is advertising and events, though we try not to, in NEDC, try not to spend too much of my time on events. We work with the two chambers who run the larger events. And economic restructuring, which is, in my opinion, the heart of any downtown improvement is business recruitment, retention, and promotion, and rewarding them for actually being where they are. Next page, the Pennsylvania Keystone Principles. NEDC supports those principles by management of our properties and our farmers market. We choose our vendors carefully so that the vendors do well and the community as well. It has the choices that they would like at the market. We also, that's okay. We also, of course, manage a facade grant program. Thank you. And we promote existing businesses, recruit new businesses. We promote the historic resources. Moravian Historical Society is an awesome asset for Nazareth. And we promote Nazareth to the greater Lehigh Valley community. Evidence of matching funds is the next slide we're on. I think there we go. Is that a touch screen? Okay, good. That makes it a little easier. We have 3 years of evidence of our matching funds. This year, of course, I only got started in April. So that column on the right side will be bigger next year. We will get some fundraising going. So, next, and okay. So downtown managers, public purpose, responsibilities, and goal. This is basically my job description here. There's a lot of things on here, and I tried to do my best at as much of it as I can in the amount of time that I have. So. We look at all of those things that you work on in a 4-point approach. Commercial properties, if anybody's interested in relocating a business in Nazareth, I have a list of available properties, and I try to match them with a property, whether it's a property that's actually available now or maybe in the future. If I know a business is closing, I might have an ear out. If somebody's interested and they might fit that space, I'll put them in touch with each other. We do social media, of course, activities. We have our NazarethNow.org website. I maintain that and manage the farmers market, of course. We have we apply for all of the grants that we attain. We'll hopefully we'll apply for a few more this year. And we work with the other chambers, the 2 chambers that are located in Nazareth, the Nazareth Bath Regional Chamber of Commerce and the Nazareth Business Council. Next, and there we go. So the following slides are a little bit more detail on some of that. Here's our Nazareth Now website. We've added some information this year. there's some confusion as to what a downtown is in Nazareth. Some businesses think, even though they're not even in the borough, they think they should, get benefits of the downtown. So we felt the need to describe it a little bit more. We put a little bit of the NEDC focus is on our website now with a map of what our downtown is specifically designated as, so business owners can look at that and decide if they're on it or not, so they know whether they're in our downtown or not. And we have a new map, a downtown map that has all of our downtown businesses on it. There's 100+ in the downtown in Nazareth, which is a little surprising to me. When we started the list, it was short, and then it got longer and longer. It's got 100+ down there. So next, the farmers market is the thing that probably takes up the most of my time. We have approximately 15 vendors right now. Some come and go at different points, and some aren't on site one day or another. We also have a new community booth where we have scouts and the historical society and any local nonprofits that would like to be on site and promote themselves and or have a fundraiser, sell tickets or popcorn or cookies or whatever. They can do that. And we're also encouraging businesses, especially new ones, to have a space on site. But they are only allowed to promote their business, not necessarily sell, because then they'd be a vendor, and then they'd have to pay the full fee. This is no charge to both of those groups. And we're partnering with Buy Fresh, Buy Local, who's also partnering with the county, thank you very much, for with some promotions. New businesses that have opened this year. Birthright Brewing, yay! It's a really, they've done a really fabulous job on the inside and out. It's well branded, it's well designed, and they have some really fantastic food. If you haven't been yet, you really should check it out sometime. It's not just about the beer. I am not much of a beer drinker, so I'll take one of those little sampley ones and have a nice pizza or something with my food. So Birthright, as well as the Art Den, which is a cute little shop that does classes, mostly with kids, but they're going to do some adult classes too. So if you have a birthday party or something like that coming up, they can do a craft activity, and the activities look really, really, really nice. The Nazareth Sign Shop is opened this year. No photo of that one. And then the photo down in the lower right is Dolce, our newest downtown business. It's they sell gelato, coffee, and sweets. It actually was opened by Stephanie Verone, who was our prior Nazareth downtown manager, and so now has 2 businesses in downtown Nazareth. Her smooch shop boutique is still open, and so we just had a grand opening party just yesterday, and she has some really yummy gelato and some interesting sweets, and again really well done inside. It looks really lovely. Facade grants. These are the last 3 years, 2015, 16, and 17, of how many projects we've had and the result in improvements in downtown. The photos here, Huth Insurance is on the left. They're making small improvements for the last couple of years on the front windows, and on the right is the Army-Navy store. They painted, replaced a door, and some signage there, so it looks much better than it did. It was kind of looking dingy, I guess, for lack of a better word. So it's looking really lovely now. It looks much better. And then, of course, this is Birthright on the left. It was the Nazareth run-in prior to that. Birthright also received facade grant money mostly for signage, and I think there was a door there too. The property on the right is Mainstream Salon. This is a highly visible, high-impact project. So when we decide the amount of money that we award to our facade grant recipients, we rate them on impact. This is a corner property in the circle, and it's historic, and it looks great, and we knew it would. So this one got us a slightly higher percentage of funding than, say, the Nazareth Guitar Center that is just doing like storm windows. They're putting storm windows on. So we tried to spend the county SIP money on the projects that will do the most good in downtown Nazareth. We, of course, have a new municipal parking lot with 55 metered parking spaces. So as we grow, we have parking. Although, in every town, people are always going to complain about parking. I don't know. People just do. We're working, of course, with, these are photos from, actually from the farmer's market. The scouts have been on site, Holy Family School and the library had a fundraiser. They're doing lottery tickets. So we're working not only with the chamber organizations that are in town, but also the other organizations. Anybody's able to come to the market and promote themselves or do a fundraiser at any point during May to October, when the farmer's market is in place. We partner with the Nazareth Bath Regional Chamber and the Nazareth Business Council for our key annual events. The two key ones, I believe, are Martin on Main and Nazareth Days. Martin on Main brings thousands of people to downtown, and that's actually in downtown. Nazareth Days is a little bit different. There's many of the activities are in Borough Park, which is not in our downtown. So the Nazareth Business Council brought these Nazareth Days in the Circle to get people into our downtown where our businesses are. I mean, none of our businesses are up at Borough Park. So any events that happen up there, while they're lovely and bring people to town, they don't bring people to the business district. So we're partnering with, did partner with the Business Council on Nazareth Days, and we're working on Christmas in Nazareth Now, which is a real community. It's everybody. It's all over town, and there'll be a shuttle for that, as there was for Nazareth Days. Four different stops, I believe. So Christmas in Nazareth on December 8th, by the way, is a really nice community event, and everybody's involved. The schools are in town. There's caroling. There's all kinds of really wonderful activities all throughout town. Any DC events, like I said, I try not to do too much, but with the farmers market, to promote the farmers market and the business community, because the farmers market is in the Circle, it does help the businesses in town. Buy Fresh, Buy Local has been doing dot surveys, I don't know how to describe that, at the markets, asking people questions like, do you spend money in town while you're here? And over 50% of people, at least at Nazareth, but I would think that's the case in most of the markets that are in a downtown, will spend money in downtown while they're there. So, any community that doesn't have a farmer's market in their downtown might want to consider it. We're fortunate that Nazareth has one in place. And so we're working with, I'm doing farmer's market activities and using this map to get people from, say, the Fall Festival or the Pumpkins and Pooches event, which is upcoming, if anybody has a dog they'd like to bring for the parade. So we get people in town, and we say, here, take this map, go wander through town, have it signed, come back, and you could win a prize. So we hope that people will wander around a little bit more through town and visit some of our shops. And we're, of course, working on Small Business Saturday as well, upcoming November 24th. And of course, Nazareth has been in the news, throughout the years. We're getting noticed. The apartment project is nearly complete. The textile, what's the textile plant's name? I forget. Kramer. No, it's not Kramer. It's the, the
Hyman.
It's on the east side of town. Kramer is right on South Main Street. Okay. Yes, it's on Belvedere Street. Nice apartments over there, and of course, Dolce just opened recently.
High-end apartments?
Medium end?
Are they affordable housing? Yeah, probably not.
Medium?
Probably not.
It's not overpriced.
I was thinking medium.
Anywhere from like 900 to maybe 1,200 a month.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
fair.
It's
Yeah, and
How many bedrooms is that?
housing.
When is that going to be done?
It's
No.
done.
there's people living in it.
3/4 occupied.
Yeah.
I just signed a new lease, dang it.
Well, so the next property that apartments and townhouses will be available is the property that was the Nazareth Furniture Store on the corner of Belvedere, Mouch Chunk, and South Main Street. And it's really, I walked through it recently, it's really, really nice space, and they're honoring the integrity of the building. There's columns in the middles of some of the apartments that they're just, okay, we're gonna have the kitchen right in here. It's gonna be an amazing space. There will be 24 apartments and 4 townhouses in there, as well as the retail, or the commercial space on the first floor, and hopefully we'll have something interesting on the first floor of that space in July. of next year expected. Timeline capacity, there's, sorry, it's very small in your print there on the left, a kind of a program schedule. These are the things that we need to do throughout the year, apply for this here and do that at this point in time, you know, farmer's market, pre-season, we start accepting vendors and looking at their, making sure they've got the insurance for us and all that stuff. So that's the timeline on the left, and of course an article about me on the right. So 2015 through 2018, key accomplishments and results. You see 4 years worth there. We've put a few new things in place this year. Of course, the community booth at the farmers market. We have held our first business owners roundtable meeting this past month, and we hope to continue those on a quarterly-ish basis to talk with business owners to see what they'd like to do and what we can do to help them. We started a new community newsletter, and that's I think twice. I've sent twice out, 2 of them so far. We have the new map, the downtown map, that's used for promotion. We have a new office in the Nazareth Arts Center. Yay. So we also have some new systems in place to keep do some record keeping, and you know, the transition someday should be a little smoother. And for 2019, I'm hoping that we can do a few more things. Where our banner program will probably update those next year. I'd like to do a Golden Broom Award, rewarding businesses for keeping their sidewalks clean, because we don't really have, we're not fortunate like Easton and have the ambassador program. We depend on our business owners and our residents to keep their sidewalks clean. So hoping to do something like that this coming year. And I'm hoping that we can do a monthly promotion that starts at the farmer's market, like the fall festival and the pooches and pumpkins, and we use that map and get people into town. So it's kind of a monthly business promotion / farmer's market event, so it benefits everybody. That's my hope. And
When is that?
What's that?
When is that?
Well, I plan farmers market events. I will plan them for the second Saturdays of each month, because I know that Easton and Bethlehem and Allentown all have monthly business promotions. Bethlehem has First Fridays. Allentown has Third Thursdays, and Easton has Fourth Fridays. So I'd like to.
The second is open for you.
Yes.
Got it.
Yes, and because I'm at the farmer's market Saturday morning anyway, it's like, okay, I'm not spending extra time doing it. I'm already here. Let's promote the farmer's market and take advantage of this monthly business promotion idea. And I hope that the 3 other communities, Allentown, Bethlehem, Easton, and Nazareth, will get together this coming year and put a brochure, a rack card together that says, First Fridays here, second, thirds, that kind of thing. So we're promoting each other throughout the valley. That's my hope. There was a discussion of that before I left GEDP, and we were almost ready to do that, but I left, so that didn't happen. So I'm hoping to make that happen next year, and we all, kind of help each other.
Okay, great.
Yeah. Thank you.
So just one
Yes.
question. So your jurisdiction is the downtown?
That's correct.
So nothing-
That's my focus, is
Okay.
the downtown.
'Cause-
For example, the map is just downtown businesses. Our website, NazarethNow.org, will have, it doesn't have all yet, all borough businesses. So we do help some borough businesses in some way, but my focus is on the downtown. So, walking
Okay.
downtown, focusing our efforts.
Awesome. And the meeting attendance for your meetings, are you getting some decent
I hope to
turnout?
build.
Well, let's get it right. You got to start it, right?
Yes,
Right.
yeah,
So the
get
community
started.
newsletters are
Yes.
helping, and
Yes.
one question, the raceway, any idea?
There's a lot of talk.
Okay.
There's a couple of Facebook groups, new Facebook groups, opposing a lot of different projects in upper Nazareth.
Okay.
There's some really
Yeah.
big proposed
I'm aware of that.
warehouse type
Yeah.
projects that a lot of people
I
are
was,
really upset
yeah,
about.
right. I was
So-
thinking like housing. I thought I saw.
It kind of gets mixed into the mix of, we don't want that there.
It's a
Okay.
NIMBY thing.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it would be ideal if it were,
Yes, Ken,
that is what
NIMBY stands for.
something, a tourism, but,
Okay, I'll leave that alone. All right.
Property owners are.
But you don't have any jurisdiction in Upper Nazareth. You're business, you're primary business manager for the downtown area.
downtown.
You're not, it's not a government position.
And it's in, no, it's not.
No.
And it's in, the raceway is in lower
Lower.
Nazareth.
Okay.
So not even, they
It's
have
not,
Nazareth
it's
as
right
well,
outside.
But it's
Okay.
not Nazareth.
Right.
It's not even in the borough. So while I try to be aware of the projects around, it's not my, it's not my place.
Okay.
What's the name of that building there?
That is the council chambers.
That's council chambers?
Yes.
Isn't that where the
I was
parade,
there for, they had election, they have polling there or something? I was there for polling, okay.
that's where
Nice
the,
building.
It's a beautiful building.
Yeah.
yeah, that's where the kazoo parade ends.
Yeah.
And they said-
It's a very old building. Do you know how old that building is?
That's all you need to know.
Old.
Kazoo,
And Lorita's is right on the right.
I didn't know where it was, but I know I've been there.
Yeah, it's
Yeah,
a
yeah.
beautiful building.
It is beautiful.
I thought it used to be the library way back.
No, that's something.
Actually, you're right.
Yeah,
was a library.
it has some history. Ding, 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 ding. All right, you win the award. I don't know what the award is.
You don't win anything.
It's okay.
Anybody else?
Yes, Liz, I'd like to.
Question, there's a
Not a
question.
question, just,
comment.
I've known Liz for a long time. I've watched her work with Easton.
Who are you?
I just, should be on, I don't know. I have the same feeling about what's taking place with Nazareth, and what took place with Bethlehem and with Easton. It's a small area. It's very confined. It's hard to deal with bringing new recruitment in for businesses. I know Tina, I was there when Tina started with the Nazareth economic programs up there, and I know what she did, and I know what they did with Nazareth Days, because we go there. And I wish you well with the 100-plus businesses. I didn't even know there was 100 businesses in there. But I wish you well with recruitment strategies. I think that's where Easton, as you know, had recruitment strategies. They brought the ambassadors in. They brought things in that they felt would make people feel more comfortable.
Yes.
Not that Nazareth is a dangerous
Nazareth is
place.
quite
I'm not
comfortable.
saying that. God forbid, but the fact is, I know Bernie lives there, but it's okay. The fact is that Nazareth has increased in its popularity. I've heard many people say that when they leave, it's like a weekend. They'll go to Easton, they'll go to Bethlehem, and then they'll go to Nazareth.
Nice. Thank you.
So if you can do something with, I'm not saying leave Allentown out. I don't have really warm feelings for Allentown, but if you can do something, with the with the greater economic development groups or the Lehigh Valley Planning Commissions to use those brochures to coordinate dates for for Bethlehem, Easton, and Nazareth, I think that would help.
That's my hope for that brochure.
And I know you did a great job down there, so I'm
Thank you.
looking forward to seeing what you can do here.
Thank you.
Thank you very much
Any other
for the
questions?
report.
Okay, thank you. Let me get cards for you. Thank
Okay.
you.
And then, we really don't have anything else on the agenda, except that we would like to, just a recommendation, and I guess I don't need a vote for it, but we'd like to recommend all the hard work. We're thanking them for all the hard work that they put into their grant selections. And we'd like to, I'm thinking they're going to do a resolution for full council for next county meeting, so.
And I think Tara's name should be included for a recommendation for SIP next year, absolutely.
Just pile it on.
Okay.
I got that. My plate
Okay,
is right
Thank you.
here. I got it.
Do you want to give it up, Lori? No. See, I don't know if Mr. Kraft's going to want to give that up either.
okay, well, we got a lot of time from now till then, so maybe we can figure it out in the meantime. And if with nothing else on the Economic Development Committee, we'd like to call for adjournment at
Got it.
5:50.
I need a cup of coffee.
Who?